What's up guys, it's Lord Both here with another video, and I don't think I've ever seen a game in my lifetime have more open and clear red flags that it's going to be an absolute dumpster fire than something like MindsEye. And when I mean open and clear, I mean, oh, you have to do a little bit of investigation and, look into this and pay attention to that. No, I mean that it's like everybody can see it. Mainstream press, alternative news, like everybody knows how bad of a struggle this game is. Let me put it to you this way. This is all the way from May 22nd, 2025 from SimPotato. And he states here on X Twitter, previews for MindsEye by former Rockstar Games producer Leslie Benezi are out, and they are not looking promising at all. A quick rundown. Reportedly a broken mess filled with bugs. 15 hours long story. I wouldn't call that necessarily very long. Driving feels stiff. Cutscenes look great and are well animated. Enemy encounters lack depth and enemies just run at the player. So far, this is sounding a lot like Cyberpunk 2077. Combat generally feels fine, very GTA-like. Well, that makes sense, seeing that Leslie Benezi and developers from GTA are the people who made this game. Arcadia is the content creation mode that you can get into by stepping into a portal only available for PC at launch. Arcadia can be used to build encounters around the map. This sounds a lot like the like content creation mode that Ubisoft tried to do way back in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I think it was also in Valhalla as well, I'm not sure. But obviously that didn't go well because I never heard anybody talk about it after that. When I was playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, all the missions people were creating I saw on the map were just labeled XP farm. And you go in, you battle a bunch of guys, and you're just farming XP over and over again. But yeah, that's what this Arcadia mode sounds like. At least what it's gonna turn into. Developers seem to hint that the main city, Red Rock City, which is a terrible generic name for a main city, doesn't have much content and will be focused on post-launch. So that sounds a lot like Mafia 2, which Mafia 2, great game, loved it. But as an open world RPG game, extremely limited. It was a big city with absolutely nothing to do in it, which is what this sounds like pretty much. So if you're giving us a big city with nothing to do in it, and only a 15-hour long story, what exactly is the giant appeal here? Oh, the game looks beautiful and it has great cinematics? Great, go make an animated movie. Previews think the game should be delayed. MindsEye has seemed like a massive red flag for a while now, but this seals the deal. It's unbelievable to me that this is a game launching in just 3 weeks on June 10th. I'd say avoid pre-ordering this and wait for reviews at least before considering picking it up. You also have people like Legacy Killer coming out and saying MindsEye, the game coming from ex-GTA boss Leslie Benezi, is supposed to launch in about a week, and just about everything about the game stinks. Never seen so many red flags for a big release like this. By the way, that tweet that he's quote tweeting right there, we'll get to that news in just a minute. You even have a few people like this Cyberboy, who posted this just a few hours ago, saying fair few people have gotten their hands on MindsEye, a lot suggesting it plays badly. But it's worth remembering there is still a day one patch still to come. Yeah, I'm sure they'll fix everything, guys. So the final game should realistically be judged on that patch, unless the entire game is a complete mess. Then that's a sign of things to come. I'm probably gonna go with the latter. And let's not forget that co-CEO of Build a Rocket Boy Studios, which made this game, Mark Gerhard, came out and also said that the game's negative reaction ahead of release has been paid for in a concerted effort against the studio. So yeah, he believed people were paying people to leave negative reviews and build up negative sentiment around the game. Yeah, this is not a winning strategy. And one way you can tell that this game is not to be believed in terms of its post-launch fixes, or that those negative reviews are completely false and just paid for, is how some of the executives are treating the upcoming launch and their, employment with the studio. What do I mean by that? Well, as you may have saw in that quote tweet earlier, some of the executives at the studio, Build a Rocket Boy, have already left, and the game hasn't even released yet. This comes to us from Insider Gaming, entitled MindsEye developer executives leave studio a week before release. 2 executives from Build a Rocket Boy, the studio behind MindsEye, have left the company just 1 week before the game's launch. The information was shared by Riley Grabner, I think that's how you say that, former chief legal officer, via his LinkedIn profile, so I'm guessing that's one of them. In addition to Riley, Paul Bland, former chief financial officer, also departed from the studio. He had been with Build a Rocket Boy for 2 years. As expected, news of the 2 executives leaving so close to a game's release has raised concerns among fans, such as departures are highly unusual at this stage of development. Yeah, no kidding. Unusual, more like unprecedented. It's also really worrying that this isn't like the team's chief operating officer or chief technical officer or creative head or whatever. If any of those people left, yeah, it would be really bad. But this is the chief financial officer and the chief legal officer. So these are the guys that are behind the legal departments and the financial departments for this studio. Listen, I'm not a lawyer, nor am I an accountant. But that raises major red flags in terms of the business more than just the game. Because when the guy who's head of your legal department and the guy who's head of your financials department leaves, in any other business that's not a video game business, a lot of people are going to point to that company and be like, that feels like something shady's going on there. To make the situation even more controversial, both exits occurred 1 week after the studio's co-CEO, Mark Gerhardt, suggested that there is an active campaign against the game, fueling negative comments online. Yeah, we just talked about that, right? It's kind of a bad look when the guy who's the head of law and the guy that's a head of finance leave your company while you're saying, oh, everybody's just, paid negative comments. So yeah, this game, a ton of red flags with it. Everybody seems to be saying from previews and people who've gotten their hands on it say it's really short and it's kind of terrible beyond the very pretty cinematics and beyond even the fact that this is a bad game. I would not be surprised that this studio is absolutely gone within like a few months of this game coming out. If the failure of this game is not the reason why, because this game probably is going to be a failure. Not only does it have a bunch of negative press around it, besides that negative press, the people who might be into it don't even seem to know it exists. It has really bad marketing. But yeah, this game isn't going to do well. And if that isn't the thing that's enough to tank this game, because I have a sinking suspicion, I don't know what the numbers are, but I have a very sinking suspicion that this was a very costly game to make. Leslie Benezi, somebody who had been in charge of gigantic projects like GTA for a long while, probably had way too ambitious of goals set and wanted to compete immediately with things like GTA when they should have started with something a lot smaller. Yes, I know Expedition 33 looks like a AAA game, plays really well, and was made on the cheap and sold for the cheap. But not every case is Expedition 33. And I have a sinking suspicion that somebody, again, that was in charge of a franchise like GTA for so long, like Leslie Benezi, isn't used to extreme budgeting the same way a smaller dev team like the guys at Sandfall Studios were probably able to do. So yeah, the budget is probably way out of whack. And even if this thing did sell well or does sell well, it probably wouldn't still be enough to pay for itself. If the cost and bad reviews of this game and it not selling isn't the thing that completely kills the studio, I have a distinct feeling it's going to be legal and financial troubles of another sort. Because both your chief financial officer and chief legal officer leaving at the exact same time 1 week before the game's launch. That's shady. That feels off for any kind of business. Some kind of story is going to break about this company. And if this game's failure doesn't kill it, that story, whatever it is going to end up killing the studio as well. But even then, it would not shock me if someone like Leslie Benezi ends up landing on their feet and going to work at a different studio, at least in some capacity. But those are just my thoughts on all this. If you have your own thoughts, go and leave them in the comments. If you like this video, go and like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, appreciate you watching all of it, and we'll talk to you again later.